So, hey YouTube, still is very, very hot, and I'm living very, very under the roof. So it's kind of in the evening right now, and I'm trying a reading, very quick reading, 5 cards. Center is, you already know, I don't. Three of Pentacles, working together with other people on a very high level, right? Building a cathedral, doing the artwork in this cathedral. There's an architect, there's someone who gives the money, and there's someone who makes the actually work, right? The actually stonework. So working together with other people, that's good. The recent past, that's the, and I'm using this to get some air here. Super hot. So the 4 of Swords, also a scenery in a church or cathedral, but that's the recent past. Maybe you're still in this energy where you're processing something, where you just let something sink in, you're meditating, you're thinking about, you're taking your time. There's the Ace of Cups, which is one of the most beloved cards of the tarot deck. That's self-love, that's Philautia, Finally, that's the Ace of Cups, that's the gift. That's the divine gift, basically, of love, of self-love, of joy, of happiness, of overflowing blessings, really. Beautiful. Foundation is the King of Cups. Yeah, you learned something while you were sad. There's this quote, I don't know who said it. I think it was Rilke. Maybe during that time when you were very, very sad, deep within you, you learned something, And this is the learning process in the past. And this is mastership over your emotions, right? And the Ace of Cups, and a lot of Cups energy already. Then let's just see what comes up for the crown. Now put there. A 3 of Cups, beautiful, and the Ace, the 3 of Swords at the bottom of the deck. 3 of Swords at the bottom of the deck. This is what you had to process, and what you maybe still are processing. The betrayal, the heartbreak, heartache, heartbreak. And it is Swords energy, so a wrong idea about love could also be. And there's the King of Swords underneath it. So you're learning a lesson, you learned a lesson, you're wrapping up that lesson, that old lesson. And the lesson came about through the 3 of Swords. Heartache, heartbreak, but caused by a wrong understanding, a wrong concept of love. So there's the Ace of Cups. This is divine love, And divine love is not trying to possess anything. Divine love, the Ace of Cups, Philautia, true love is not trying to pick the flower, but just look at it and allowing it to be that wildflower growing wherever it grows, right? So don't try to possess anything, anybody. Don't try to, it's about attachment. It's about this idea of possessing something, but also, since it is Swords energy, a concept of how love should be and how the other person should be. And, the other person, if you're in a relationship, for example, is not what you want him or her to be. So expectations, attachment to outcome is a juvenile, not very grown-up form of love. So you had to process that. And this is Philautia, what's coming next. And there's the 3 of Cups, also joy, happiness, good people, finally. And there are 2 indications for snapping out of this look at this. This is pretty much you alone processing your hurt, your emotional hurt, your heartbreak, right? But this is you joining other people in a work situation, you know, co-producing something, working together on a professional level. And this is meeting new people, having a good time with new people, friends, joy, happiness. And both of these cards are showing up together with the King of Cups and the Ace of Cups. And the Ace of Cups is all about loving yourself, you know? You're attracting, you have to process this. And this is in the past. You already processed it, right? And now the gift is there. You have mastered it. That's the King of Cups. You've mastered your feelings. And now the gift is here. And that's the key that unlocks these blessings with good people. And you are meeting good people if you love yourself, if you are enough, if you rest within yourself, you know, rest within yourself, right? And don't expect too much of yourself, and don't expect too much of other people, because you can only be disappointed if you have high expectations for other people. So try to be a little more practical. That's the Three of Pentacles. And if you enjoy a good time with people, enjoy the good time with people in the here and now. Don't expect them to be a solution for anything, you know? No savior is going to come. No prince on a freaking horse is going to save you. You have to save yourself, and you have to save yourself. Choose self-love, loving yourself, being enough, giving yourself a little bit of credit, you know, cut yourself some slack. You're good enough? Yeah, there's the Four of Wands clarifying the Three of Pentacles. Four of Wands is an invitation again for joy, for happiness, for meeting good people, you know, things like that. Wonderful, wonderful energies. In the recent past, the Four of Swords is clarified by the Seven of Pentacles. So you planted your seeds. But again, this is a waiting period here in the past. And it's in the past, you know, so it's ending. And what made you wait, or what stalled you, you know, was definitively that, right? And I mean, it doesn't get any clearer than that, right? So planting your seeds, processing something traumatic that you've been through. And this is coming to an end. And now you're invited to join life again, to have good community, to find good people. And isn't that interesting? The Ace of Cups is clarified by the Devil. So maybe you had to go through that heartbreak, you know? Maybe you had to go through that shadow aspect to arrive at self-love. Because if you're looking for love in the outside world, you know, you're going to be disappointed. And as long as you're looking for love and fulfillment and completion in the outside world, you kind of asking for this guy, because this guy actually has a function, you know? He or she shows you your errors, right? And so this Ace of Cups, which is self-love, Philautia, being enough, loving yourself, truly accepting yourself, you know? Truly, truly, truly accepting yourself, loving yourself, you know? Just the way you freaking are. And if you do that, you're not so much depending on other people in the external. Not a boyfriend, not a girlfriend, not a mother, father, brother, sister, whatever, family member. Not friendships even, you know. It's not that you don't need them, that you don't like them, that you don't enjoy them. Of course not. But if you try to find someone in the outside world who's completing you in the inside, that's a toxic idea, because you can only attract the good people if you love yourself, if you are complete within. So that idea of, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not complete, I'm not deserving because I'm lacking something, you know, had to be disappointed because you were looking for the solution in the outside world. And it had to be disappointed since the devil is clarifying the Ace of Cups. So love yourself, respect yourself. The Five of Wands is clarifying the King of... I'm so sweating. Sorry, I have to... Every now and then there's a little sweat tear running down my neck. So it's freaking hot, I tell you. So the King of Cups, it was a struggle to get there, but it was kind of not meant as a struggle. It probably became a little more struggle-like than it should have been. But Five of Wands is actually more like training, you know, teaching you something than it is about the Five of Swords. And there's the, what is it, the Nine of Swords clarifying the Three of Cups. Temperance at the bottom of the deck as the clarifier. You are a little worried about rejoining, taking that invitation, because, right? But this is over, just come as you are, and it will be fine. So, I'm going to pull one more oracle card just for the overall energy. It looks pretty good. So you got hurt. Why? Because you thought you're not complete as your own for yourself, right? So you're looking, most likely looking for completion through someone else in the external world. And when you looking for someone who might completely complete you or fix you even, right? You're going to find someone who's trying to do that. And usually that doesn't end well because you can't be fixed. Yeah, you need to fix yourself. And the only way to fix yourself is to truly love yourself. And that's self-love, that's self-acceptance, that I am enough just the freaking way that I am. That is healing. Number 29 in the Oracle deck. Healing, and the subtext is peace. Accept life as it brings peace and healing. You can start to heal yourself and your planet, and our planet, through acceptance. There we go. Acceptance does not mean giving up on improving things. It simply means acknowledging there may be a higher purpose, even though we do not see it. Peace is possible now, whatever your circumstances. Peace will never be any more or less possible than it is now. Life will continue its course, driven by a higher world than our own. Little we do will ever change that. And yet, when we change our perception of our circumstances and surroundings, it makes a difference. Hope and fear cannot occupy the same space. Invite one to stay. That's Maya Angelou. Hope and fear cannot occupy the same space. Invite one to stay. So healing through self-love, radical acceptance, you know, you can't change the world, you can't change other people. Freaking forget it. Even if the people you love, you can love them from a distance. If they're not healthy for you, if you've been through narcissistic abuse, if it was a family member, a spouse, whatever, you can't change these people. You can only change yourself, and you can respect yourself, have healthy boundaries, communicate those boundaries, but do not allow the hurt in the past, the trauma, the traumatization in the past, to prevent you from joining the world and having these wonderful, these are job opportunities, right? And there's an invitation. There's even an invitation for happiness and joy and meeting good people and having a good time with them. So this is friendship, right? There's a little, understandably scarcity, right? A little scared about that. But again, hope or fear, invite one to stay. And you're healing and you're inviting hope, to stay. So you're optimistic. You're going back out into the world. And the key to unlock that door is radical acceptance that the world is just what it is. And that you can insulate, not isolate yourself, but insulate yourself through self-love, to having healthy boundaries, to saying no, if you feel like saying no. No is a complete sentence, right? To respect yourself, deeply, deeply love and respect yourself. That's the King of Cups. That's the Ace of Cups with all these blessings. And you had to go through these disappointments. Maybe they were kind of little traumatization too. And of course, the aftermath of that is hesitation and a little, fear, right? That's the Nine of Swords. Clarifying the Three of Cups. There's a little fear here. But this healing card tells you fear or hope. Invite one to stay. And you're inviting hope to stay. And I'm doing that too. And that's all I got for today. I hope that I see you soon. Share, like, subscribe, leave a comment if you like. That's all I got. Ciao.